Behavior-based interview questions. Why do employers ask this type of question? Essentially, they want to use your past behavior as a predictor of your future behavior. The best strategy for answering this type of question is to use the STAR technique to organize your story. STAR is an acronym that stands for situation, task, action, and results. First, situation. This is where you provide context for your story. Remember, the interviewer wasn't there, so providing context will dramatically improve your story. Next is task. This is where you need to explain your specific role in solving the problem. Third is action. This is where you need to highlight your specific contributions in solving the problem. And fourth, the results. This is where you want to stay positive, share your success or your lessons learned. What were your takeaways? Often, students will share a great story, but fail to share the results. This is like watching a great movie, but missing the ending.
So behavioral interview questions can be tricky because they're not always ones that you can anticipate. But they are very important because it gives you an opportunity to tell a story. And it's a great opportunity for us to learn how you'll handle a given situation in the work environment.
If we're asking a question about written communication skills or working on a project with other people, we want to know that in the past they have done that, and then they can articulate how they did it. So I think it's really important in those behavioral-based questions to make sure you are emphasizing the role you played in that particular scenario. So a lot of times we hear people using the word we, and it's great to demonstrate that you have worked in a group, but if the question is not about how you worked in a group, then you're not really answering the question.
So we ask behavior-based interview questions because it's the best way to really understand how a person makes decisions. So we're really looking for specific examples, but at the end of the day, what we're most interested in is understanding their thought process and the logic that they take to make future decisions as well.
So Naomi, tell me about a time when you persuaded others about an idea.
Yeah, of course. So earlier on, when I first started getting involved into business ownership, I did a program called the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, and the objective of the entire program is to teach teenagers how to run their own business by running our own businesses. So pretty much the entire program equips us with the resources to be able to launch our business, to be able to learn how to have your own business plan, and potentially at the end, if your business, gets vetted and everything goes well, at the end you're going to be pitching your business to a panel of investors, and they will give you startup funds if they feel like your business is the right idea for them to invest their money in. So pretty much that's the purpose of the entire program. And I had a business partner that I worked with, and our business was actually called Flexibo. We sold bands to help people stretch. It was an idea that I had came up with because I noticed that there was a need for people to stretch more. So we pitched our idea and our business at this time, because it was an official LLC by this time, to the panel of investors. We were enthusiastic. I mean, the judges / investors, they were really, really into our idea. They thought that it was something really simple, but they loved the conviction that we had in it. So we were enthusiastic. We had a lot of product knowledge. That was something that we prepared for before. We did a lot of market research. We knew who our competitors were. We knew how to make our product better. So they were really interested in the fact that we had that ready to go. Our financials were set together. He was actually our CFO. So, he was able to really put together some great financial information. We had the tables, the charts, everything, projections for 4 years down the line. So I think the fact that we were able to really put everything together so efficiently, and it worked really effectively as well. The judges they were blown away, honestly. We ended up winning the investor panel, so I think that, that's enough proof to show that we were able to persuade them. We won the investor panel, and we also ended up getting overfunded with our startup costs. So I think we asked for about $6,000, and we probably got $1,000 more, about $7,000, leaning towards $8,000. And we were extremely proud of ourselves. I think the takeaway that, I got from it personally was that hard work honestly pays off. And, when you're in that position where you have to persuade somebody, you really kind of you have to kind of put your A game on and, remember what it is that your goal is. And we came in with the goal to persuade them that our business was the one that they should invest in and that we should win that investor panel. So that's a time when I persuaded someone.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
What the student did well. She is enthusiastic about her story, provided several details to support her example, followed the star little T format, including the takeaway. Her experience is unique, truly her story. Improvements. The candidate's answer was a little too long. She could be more concise and still convey her main points. Be careful about using we. She should be clear about her specific role.